Bless my heart good to know that you're in the Butler Area Sports Hall of Fame. All right. Moving on to our next inductee in that particular era, Chuck Moses is our next inductee. Chuck attended Butler High School, and when his resume came in and was presented to the board of directors, and I knew Chuck when he was younger, but I didn't fully understand what all he was involved with. I know that he played football for Butler. He was a guard. He was a gymnast under Paul Urim. And he ended up also playing golf for Slippery Rock University. But he had won a lot of honors in baseball as well, too. And he played on teams back in the prep league that went on to some regional and state championships back many years ago, back in 1957. In 58, he was involved in the Western Pennsylvania High School gymnastic meet, and he was on the parallel bars where he placed first, and also in the side horse. So he was multifaceted when it comes to gymnasium. In football, he played on the undefeated team in 1958. They did end up with 3 ties. At Slippery Rock University, Chuck participated and lettered in 3 sports as a freshman: football, gymnastics, and golf. And while at Slippery Rock, he was named to the Geneva College All-Opponent team as a freshman guard. And in the summer of '59, while in training at the Sokol Club, he injured himself as a gymnast and forced him out of competition. And I can remember Chuck as a catcher in the prep league many years ago, and this guy was just phenomenal. And when the resume was sent in, as part of it, he now is involved in horse racing. So therefore, we're going to meet after the dinner's over, and we're going to ask for a few tips in the next horse race. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Chuck Moses, our new
I don't know what I could say that hasn't been said already, but I'd like to thank the committee for this honor they put on me and my family. I'd like to thank you all. This would be nothing without the public supporting us. It would mean nothing if you didn't come. You sure came tonight. I'd like to introduce my wife. 50 years I've been with her. 49 and a half she doesn't want to admit to. My other family, they want to stand up a minute, take a little bow.
So.
Stood up there to wrestle in high school this year. He was a heavyweight 285 wrestler. And of course he was the smallest in that bracket. And my other grandson there, he's a partner in the horse business with me. And someday he'll be at the Meadows. I know I played a lot of sports, but to do that, you had to be part of a good team. And we had a lot of good teams. And I believe that being on in good teams, we had outstanding players. And I think with the outstanding players there, you fed back to us, and that made us better players. With guys like Bill Saul, Red McConnell, Jimmy D'Antonio. There's something. The Orty boys at the baseball section. When I was in high school, I met Paul Urim, Coach Urim, and he asked me if I'd like to come down to Lindor School and join their gym team. I thought about it. I said, my God, these guys are young kids. You know, why do I want to be with them? Huh? I learned a lot there, I'll tell you. Kersey, Urs, Frenchak. Oh, man, what a group. Them guys went on to college and were outstanding gymnasts. And they competed in meets against high school people much older than they were and cleaned them all. And once in a while, they let me win. You know, I was lucky. Kersey, he'd kill you. And my days of football that I really respected and liked the most was that my team with the high school team. And that was an outstanding bunch of guys. We had a record of 5 and 3 ties, but people never realized at that time the Asian flu had come to the United States, and it hit our community. In fact, we couldn't play Beaver Falls because they were all sick. Now, we had a bunch of street people on that team. They were fighters, and none of them would complain, and they were sick, but somehow, I think it caught up with us, but you never hear them say that. You got guys like Saul, D'Antonio, Grant, Hawk. Off that team, 5 of them went on to college. Walk-ons now, no scholarships. Of course, Saul had a scholarship, but the 5, Basham, D'Antonio, myself, Gene Grinick, walked on to colleges, played 4 years. I didn't play 4. I played 1 and got racked up, that's what I did. My injury didn't come at gymnastics, it came from my multiple concussions. At that time, concussions weren't a thing that we knew about and talked about. So we'd play on Saturday at Slippery Rock, and then Tuesday, they'd make Jimmy and I go and play with the transfer students and the freshmen at another game. So we'd play twice a week. Took a beating at a 150-pound nose guard. It added up. I ended up playing on a golf team. If you came from Lindor, everybody golfed. Because you caddied in the morning and you hit balls when you had a chance, you know. And Butler didn't have a golf team at that time, but then we also had some good golfers I played against. Dr. George Billoway, Butler guy. Steve Kalina, Butler guy. We could have had a good Butler team, but we didn't have teams here at that time. Well, I talked a lot here, but I'd like to thank a couple guys before I leave. It really affected my future. John Skibber, when I was a young football player in the midgets. John came, he had these street guys from Lindor and Island, talked to us like a real gentleman, never swore, never raised his voice, taught us fundamentals. Thanks, John. I had Doggy Cavallero. I don't know if anybody knew Doggy Cavallero. He was an outstanding baseball coach. He treated me like a dad, boy. I'll tell you, I had the tools of ignorance. I was a catcher, and he made me into a catcher, believe me. I was a leader due to what he taught me. And I hope that someday they recognize him at the Pullman Park. That's where he spent all his time and give all his effort into it. I hope I see the day that they recognize him down here, because he deserved it. Paul Red Jordan, what a guy. I'll tell you what. There'd be a lot of people come up and say things about him, a lot better than me, I'll tell you that. But he had a low voice too. He was able to take us and walk us through that. Well, we didn't walk through that gray area, the area where you were scared, didn't think you could do it, but he convinced you. And by God, we did it, you know. What a man. He took an average guy and made him good. He took a good guy and made him great. Thanks, Coach. And I'll leave you with I can't go without mentioning my dad. My dad he never got out, I think he went as far as grade school, and he went to Buttercup one-room school. He always wanted to play sports. There were 2 great people in his life, believe me. It was me and my Uncle Merle. And that's all he talked about. But in my sports life, he directed me in a direction of the sports, and he stepped back. He didn't interfere with the coaches or anybody. What a guy. Well, Dad, this one's for you.